Okay, what's going on, LBHT crew? Okay, look, real quick. We need to do a mic check. One, we gotta make sure that you guys can hear us. Two, we gotta make sure you guys can see us.
It actually went live on YouTube that time.
It went live. Guys, we started a little late, kind of. We went live somewhere. I'm not sure we went live. Okay, I can hear us on the.
Started on time.
Well, yes, we started on time, but okay, we're trying something new. You see the new background. Okay, you're seeing some stuff on the screen that you may not be used to seeing. We're trying out some new software in an attempt to bring you some better quality, right? Just keep pushing the envelope on our side. You know, we're gonna have a couple hiccups along the way as we try out new technology. And we might also be in bed with some shady people along the way as well, apparently. But give us a thumbs up. Tony Hendo says, all good. You can hear us. Davon says, he says we're live in the UK. Yeah. You can bring up the comments on your side, right?
No,
You
I
can,
can't see the comments.
Oh, you can't see. Oh, that's gonna be a problem. I did not think about that. All right. Well, look, bad news is we cannot bring your comments up right now, not right this second. But B's going to put a link in Streamlabs. He's going to put a Streamlabs link in the chat, right? What you want to do is click that link, leave your donation, leave your comment. Okay, we'll read it on air. We'll be reading the chat. We just won't be able to bring it on screen right now. But if you want to make a donation tonight, you know, Streamlabs or right below B, $LBHT Show. If you want to do that, there might be a surprise for you guys. I don't know. Okay, all right. So we have Janzeb Ali, fan from Canada. That's what's up. Thanks for coming through. Appreciate that. We got King of Pugo in the house. Thanks for coming through. AJ Bouye over here, B. Raven Ron says, what up, LBHT? Must win on Sunday. Yes. Spooky J is here. What's going on, Spooky J? Appreciate you coming through. Tony Hendo, our guy Davon, Zeke Hokage, Derek Weatherly, man. Appreciate all you guys coming through. All right. Like I said, we got to a little choppy start, but we're trying out some new things here. The more we do it, the smoother it'll get. Just bear with us. All right. But at least you can hear us, because when we did this test a couple days ago, we could not hear each other. So that's a plus. Now, look, you guys see the title, man. All right. We have a lot to talk about. If you're here on Thursday, we had a lot to get off our chest. We got more to talk about with the Ravens. This coaching staff needs to be addressed. Okay. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. They need to be addressed. We need to talk about what they need to do to help us, the Ravens, get success the rest of this year. And then we got to talk about how we can start replacing some of these guys, because I don't want them on the team anymore. But on the brighter side, over in Panthers Nation, there's a lot to be optimistic about all of a sudden, because Cam is back. So we're going to get into that, right? But first, we're going to start with a Black History fact, and B has a Black History fact for you.
Yes. So we're going to talk a little bit about Charles Jackson French. Charles Jackson French was born in September of 1919. He enlisted in the military, did a few years of service, got out, and then Pearl Harbor happened, and he decided to re-enlist. While he was in the Navy, for his second stint, he was assigned to the USS Gregory. He was a mess hall attendant, because that Black people weren't really allowed to be anything other than the janitors and cooks and things of that nature. While he was on board, they were attacked by a Japanese ship. They were hit. The ship was going down, and as one of his crewmates told it on NBC a few days later, they started to go down. His ensign Robert Adrian was the guy's name. He was telling the story. He was knocked unconscious initially from the blast. He regained consciousness, and he found his way out into the water, so he didn't get trapped in the boat and everything. And he's swimming around. He sees a raft with a bunch of wounded people. about 14 wounded people or so. He swims over, gets onto the raft. The only person who was not wounded there was Charles Jackson French. And they're keep in mind they're in the Pacific. These are shark-infested waters, they say, uh, and they pointed out that hey, the tide is taking them right back towards the Japanese ships, essentially, right? And they had the spotlight out. The Japanese did, and they were searching for survivors so they could finish the job. And Charles Jackson French, took off his shirt, grabbed a rope, tied it around his waist, jumped into these shark infested waters, and just started swimming. And swam, they said, for about 6 to 8 hours, pulling that raft out to sea, where they were rescued the following day. Uh, he was recommended for the Navy Cross, but unfortunately, he did not receive it because the captain of that ship, the USS Gregory, kind of went down with the ship. Some people were trying to help him. He told them, "Leave me, go help these other crew members," and he was awarded the Silver Star. And essentially, what happened is they said you can't get a higher honor than your superior officer on that ship. So he was not. He didn't get any actual award. And then unfortunately, once he left the service, he suffered from what seemed like PTSD. It wasn't actually diagnosed.
Because what year was this?
This was in the early 50s when he got out.
Yeah, because like that wasn't really a thing that they diagnosed for back then.
Right.
So
his friend said he was, quote, stressed out when he got back.
Yeah.
And he turned to alcohol, and unfortunately he passed away not too long later. Or not too long after that in 1956, without too many people knowing his story. But it has, come up again recently in an effort to go back into the U.S.'s history and award essentially non-white heroes.
Okay.
So yeah, Charles Jackson French, 6 to 8 hours swimming in shark-infested waters to save all of his or 15 of his crew members.
All right, so I'm looking at the chat. B. It says your mic is low. Can you guys hear my mic okay? I'm not sure how you can turn yours up, B. Well, look, like we said, guys, there's gonna be some growing pains with this thing, man. And it might be on my end. I'm not sure. It might be on my end. Can you guys hear him at all, or is it really low? Let us know in the chat. Let us know. Okay, Davon says my mic is solid. It might be on my end, guys. It might be on my end.
Okay, I tried to turn it up. Is it any better now?
Can you guys hear B now? He's turning it up. It says B is quiet. Okay, all right. Just low.
Move the mic a little bit closer.
Yeah. It just says, yeah. It sounds like you're far away. I think that might be on my end. So, guys, what I'm going to do, bring us off screen for just a second. You guys don't go anywhere. I'm going to try and make some adjustments, and we'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.
I'm going to hit that intro video for the third time.
All right. Try it now, B. See, try to say something.
We are back.
Yeah.
Can y'all hear me now?
Yeah, this is like I said, this is new to us. I probably have to do something with the mixer. But yeah, just let us know if you get.
So is it still sounding pretty low?
Yeah, you guys. Yeah, let us know in the chat. Let us know if you can hear B okay.
Because we
See
did get
Iron.
a cash app from our guy Tony. I think maybe mostly out of pity. There was no message
Okay,
attached, but appreciate you, Tony. Thank
Andrew
you.
Ward. Oh, B, you're gonna have to multitask over there. You're gonna have to do the magic with the Cash App donations. Can you do that?
Oh, yeah.
All right. They say it's all good. It's we back. We're back. Okay.
Okay, so I'm gonna do a recap of the Black History Fact. Okay, because I thought that was a good one. Charles Jackson French. He was in the mess hall on the USS Gregory. Ship's going down. A bunch of his crew members are injured on a raft, just floating around. Tide's carrying them back towards the Japanese. Charles jumps in the shark-infested waters, rope tied around his waist, and swims for 6 to 8 hours and pulls them out to sea, where they are rescued the following day. So, another a black hero who was not recognized at the time. He didn't receive any award, and unfortunately, after he left the service, he fell into alcoholism and passed away at the age of 37.
Sad story, man. Sad story. But I mean, a lot of these Black History Facts, they don't end well, unfortunately. But look, this show's gonna end well. Okay, we bounce back. Okay, we got to a slow start like the Ravens. Okay, he says he. All right, just Alice says he can see us too. You couldn't see us before. I'm looking on YouTube. All right, guys, bear with us because this is brand new to us, but trust me, it's going to pay off. All right, so a couple things. If you look right above me, there's a ticker there. There's a little thing. It's not updated. It's not updating, but that's our goal. That's our subscriber goal for the end of the year. We set the goal for the end of the year. We're trying to reach 1,000 subscribers. All right, so tell your friends, tell your loved ones. All right, go ahead, hit that subscribe button. Second, pin. Oh, okay, B did it. If you guys saw it on your screen, okay, there's a little animation there. Okay, we had who was it that donated?
Our guy Tony Hendo.
Tony Hendo donated. Okay, so that's one of the things that we're trying to do differently now. So when you guys make a donation, you get a little animation on the screen there. You get your name and all that stuff. Kind of like the super chat, because we're not going to enable super chats. That's going to be a super chat reward for you right there. All right, but guys, okay. It's time.
We wasted a lot of time here at the beginning trying to get our technical difficulties out of the way. So we apologize.
I think it was quality
that,
time that you experienced with us, so you can see how the sausage is made over here.
Yes.
Okay,
all time is quality time. We're gonna jump in and we're gonna talk about why y'all coaching staff sucks so much.
Yeah, I think our audience feels similar to how we feel about this coaching staff. I know. And Graven's done a couple of videos on it. I watched Coach Evans from Sip to Tally Films. He's literally breaking down every quarter of last week's game, and not some pretty stuff, right? But look, you're going to get different opinions from different people about our coaching staff. So it's not us throwing shots at anybody or anything like that. But we have our own opinion here, and we feel strongly about it. And our opinion, and this was even through good times, is that it's time for John Harbaugh and staff to move on. It's not just about Greg Roman. It's not just about Wink Martindale. It's John Harbaugh. Because John Harbaugh is the one that keeps bringing his friends in, and his friends aren't well equipped to do this job. I think on the defensive side, the bottom fell out, right? We spent years and years and years, and this is before Wink. I felt this way about Dean Pease, too. I don't think Dean Pease is a particularly great coach either. But when you constantly add resources there and you get talent, they can make up for where you're lacking on the coaching side. And it's the same thing with Wink. I think Wink's in a position where a couple of veterans got hurt or they got a little too old. They can't play like they used to, and things are getting exposed in his schemes, right? Last week we did well. We played one of the worst teams offensively in the league. But overall, we're a bad defense. All right.
Well, and it's funny because if you look at the numbers would indicate the Ravens are a pretty decent defense.
Yeah.
They're top 10 in the league in terms of drives that end in a touchdown or have a first down. So it's about 70% of their drives. They're one of the best in the league at forcing punts. They don't get turnovers. They don't generate turnovers as much as they should or need to. But what it's telling you is the team is they're a talented team, and they play well most of the time, but they have mental lapses.
Yeah.
Missed tackling is a mental lapse. We've seen basically every week blown coverages. That's a mental lapse. And that's indicative of poor coaching. Because if it was just one player doing that, then it's like, okay, well, that guy's got to do better. But it's everyone. It's happening all over the defense, and that points to the defensive coordinator not doing a great job there.
Yeah.
Then the same thing on the offense. When Miami they went with cover zero about 40 times or so against Baltimore, and Baltimore didn't really have many answers for it. Part of that was play calling, but as many people pointed out, part of that is execution as well. But the problem is, again, it's everyone who's not executing well.
Yeah.
And when that's the case, again, that points to the coaching being a problem.
Yeah. And just looking at some of these comments here, I mean, I see people pointing out how well Judon is playing outside of Baltimore. And yes, look, Belichick's getting a lot of credit for Judon's talents. I don't put that on Belichick, because Zadarius Smith immediately played well as soon as he left Baltimore as well. And another player who we're not talking about that's also doing better than every edge rusher that we have right now is Yannick Ngakoue. He's got 6 sacks, right? Nobody's talking about him, because he was another one when he was here. It was like, oh, he's getting close, but he can't quite finish. He wasn't as good as we thought. For both of these guys, it was, we need to upgrade. We need to step up. We need guys that can finish. And what you're finding out is those are the guys that can finish, because Yannick is probably going to finish the season with double-digit sacks. Matt Judon is going to be in the running for Defensive Player of the Year. Will he get it? I don't know. Myles Garrett is having a monster year. If he stays healthy, it's probably going to be Myles Garrett. But Judon's name will be in the discussion for sure. That's how dominant he's playing right now.
Right. He's already got double-digit sacks a little more than halfway through the season.
Yes.
But yeah, again, it just comes down to the Ravens have the talent, even with all of the injuries. And by the way, I did see that Tennessee now took over the lead with the most players on IR. But Baltimore's had a lot of injuries, and even still, they're one of the more talented teams in the league. But they're just not playing up to the expectations of a roster like that.
Yeah.
And again, it's something that you've seen throughout John Harbaugh's era or his tenure, that the Ravens always play down to the level of their competition. Now, when they have a big game or when their back's against the wall and they absolutely have to win, they'll come out, they'll put their best foot forward. But when they're playing the Dolphins, when they're playing the Lions, when they're playing teams like that, they come out and they look terrible. They look like they're not ready to play. And it's the coaching staff's job to get them ready to play every week.
Yeah. Let me read a couple of these comments. Kimberly Harmon, thank you for coming through to the live stream. She says, I will support you, Lunch Break Hot Take. Much love to you, Kimberly. Appreciate you coming through. Jason Moyer is in here. I definitely think it could be fixed by the playoffs. I don't think. No. Okay, I hope so.
Well, good news for Baltimore is everybody in the AFC looks bad.
Raven Ron says Yannick didn't fit a 3-4 system. Yannick is a 4-3 guy. Okay. I don't know. Maybe. Yeah. I mean, it doesn't seem like anybody fits. It doesn't seem like anybody fits the system.
I tend to subscribe to Coach Evans' theory as well. Pass rushers are pass rushers.
I agree.
Now, he may not have fit, the rest of the time, but get him out on the field and rush the quarterback. He can do that in any scheme.
Yeah. Yeah. But when you're blitzing everybody, I mean, I looked it up the other day, man. Like, some of our DBs have more sacks than our edge rushers. Like, like, this is crazy.
Those guys are awesome.
We blitz way too much. Tony Hendo says poorly coached. Let's see here. Yeah, and Dave Vaughn says, and we have a bad Chicago team to see next. Yeah, but that defense, man. Like,
let me go ahead and change up the ticker there. They are playing the Chicago Bears.
Well, I mean, I want to stick to this coaching thing just a little bit longer. I know we're running a little late.
Go ahead and change that back.
Because we talked about Wink, but we didn't really get on Great Roman, right? It might be kicking a man when he's down, beating a dead horse or whatever, right? But look, the defense didn't play bad on Thursday. I don't think they played great, but they didn't play bad. The offense was scary bad. And I've been watching, and shout out to Coach Evans, man. Shout out to you, man. If you watch the stream later, man, I've been watching your streams. He's been doing videos for each quarter of that game, and it just gets worse and worse as the game goes on. That O-line, you have guys that just literally don't know where they're going to block. I saw a play where one of the guards just literally ran past the defender to go up to the next level to block nobody. He just ran past the guy and just stood there.
That's what you see in Madden.
Yes. I saw another play where two guards are trying to pull and he run into each other. Similar to last year when those wide receivers are running routes and run into each other. And it's just like, do you guys practice this stuff? What I saw on that tape was a lot of things that we're trying to do that we don't actually practice, right? They're trying to make adjustments on the fly. And you have a young team, not well put together team, and they just don't know what they're doing. They're not gelling yet. I hope they get that fixed, right? Yeah. And and the question is, how much of that do you put on Greg Roman because he's not the O-line coach? Look, man, you're offensive coordinator though. You run the whole offense, right? Yeah. Blame has to be laid somewhere. And if you don't think that's his job, fine, fire the O-line coach because it's somebody's job. It's somebody's job to get these guys ready.
I can give them a bit of a pass for the O-line, Roman and the O-line coach, because, Ronnie Stanley's gone. Mm-hmm. And they're not the ones who traded Orlando Brown on the right side and replaced him with Villanueva, right? True. So the O-line, they came into the season with a lot of question marks on the O-line. And turns out the answers were bad. That's not on Greg. But you should see them improving throughout the season, though. But,
that's only part of the video because he showed just flat out bad offensive schemes where the play never had a chance to be. Right. And I encourage you guys, go to Sip2 Tally Films and subscribe to him and take a look at these videos. And he will show you, there are plays where he just like, they were never going to get open on this play. Like, it was just a poorly constructed play. And we see this way too often. We see these screenplays. He broke down why screenplays aren't working, and he said, "Look, they need to execute better." That's where I do put that on Greg Roman. That is his job. I'm drawing up a play. This is how you guys need to execute it. If they're not executing it properly, you need to do something about that. Mm-hmm. But John Harbaugh came out and said, "Hey, look, we're gonna play so much better. We're gonna hit them with things that they've never seen before. Blah blah blah. We're gonna be a completely different team." All right, man, it's the Bears. We have to have this win.
Yeah. So that is the good news for Baltimore.
Yeah.
Chicago is Chicago.
Yeah.
They're not. You want to talk about poorly coached? Oh my God. So this should be an easy win for Baltimore. Even though Justin Fields is starting to turn the corner a bit, and they do have some talent on defense. They have a decent defense. This isn't a team that should pose any kind of threat to Baltimore. They actually blitz the least or second least in the NFL. I would expect that to go up this weekend as they kind of test Baltimore's reaction to blitzing, as the Ravens did not react well against Miami. So I would expect teams to kind of dial up their blitzing until Baltimore shows they know how to beat it. But yeah, this isn't a squad that should be presenting many problems for the Ravens. So hopefully they'll take that Miami loss as a wake-up call. They'll come out ready to play, and they'll play near their potential, which is not something that we've seen more than maybe once this season.
Yeah. Let me read a couple comments real quick. Mr. J the 6 says Xavier Howard and Byron Jones are no pushovers, but still Lamar couldn't turn on the fourth quarter switch. No, he can't do it every week, man.
No. And shouldn't be asking him to do it every week.
No. Z the Beast, what's going on? He says, Coach Evans' breakdown of the quarters. Phillips is a guard. Yeah, and he ain't a good guard either. Big Reg 29 says, yeah, I've been in those streams. Yeah, I saw you in there, Big Reg, man, and thanks for coming through. Appreciate that. Couch Rider Raven, what's going on? Says, people coming for G-Ro's head. I think he'll bounce back Sunday. As long as Lamar stop getting bubble guts on install days, they'll be okay. But again, we put too much on Lamar, right? we put too much on him. And this thing with Giro, like, yeah, look, they will bounce back because they had Lamar Jackson, right? But again, how many games do you look at and say, man, this coaching staff really coached their ass off, man. Like, they really put it together. Like the other team had no answers. It's rare. It's rare that you will say something like that. It's Lamar making it work. Giro is just not necessary for this team at all. If we get rid of him, there's not going to be any drop off whatsoever. There's nowhere to go but up. I'm sorry. Like, he doesn't do anything. He's not great at anything, guys. I know, we look at it and say, oh, we had one of the best rushing attacks in history with him coaching us. Yes, technically that's true, but it's Lamar Jackson that made it work, right? And we're seeing it now, right? When they're trying to run Lamar less, when teams are scheming for Lamar more, and you're trying to get other running backs going, they can't do it. Right. Granted, yes, a lot of running backs are hurt, but look around the league, man. There are a lot of running backs that have been hurt, and it's not stopping. Yeah. It's not stopping the Rams from running all over the place. It's not stopping the Browns from running all over the place with Dearness Johnston, right? San Francisco with Elijah Mitchell. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to hear that excuse. If you're supposed to be a wizard in the run game, you should be able to make it work.
Yeah, it's the easiest position in the league to replace. And they've done a terrible job. They targeted players they knew wouldn't work.
Yeah. All right. Okay. All right. So we're talking about Ravens versus Bears. Yes, Bears are an awful team. But all that being said, I expect us to win. I expect us to win. I told you, man, it sounds like it's doom and gloom over here. I still feel like we're going to win a lot of games this season. All right. That's how good I think Lamar Jackson is. And the Bears, I feel, look, Justin Fields, I think is going to be a good quarterback, but he's not ready yet. And the defense, I mean, where are they ranked? I don't think they're a bad defense.
No, they're a good defense. I'm not sure if Khalil Mack is back.
Right, that's what I'm wondering.
He's been hurt. But I mean, regardless, they're a solid defense all around. I don't think that they should be able to really hold Baltimore, especially considering the problems they have on offense.
Yes,
and that's really the most important thing. You have to have balance between the two for either unit to consistently play well. Yeah. Chicago doesn't have that.
Go ahead.
No, I was just saying I don't think that they should. The Ravens should be stumbling again this week.
All right, and Raven made a good point too. The Ravens don't usually have back-to-back terrible losses, right?
Yeah.
Now they've been playing bad for the most part this year. Don't get it wrong. But just flat out bad losses, they don't usually drop 2 games in a row in that fashion, right?
Right.
So I expect us to bounce back and win. But are we going to play well? I don't know. I mean, we played well, I think, twice this year. But we will win the game. We will win the game, and it will be a big win, and we'll talk about it. But score prediction, going into Chicago, I'm going to say 24-20 Ravens.
That's being a little too generous to Chicago. I think I'm going to go 23-13 for Baltimore. I don't think the Bears offense really gets anything going at all.
Okay. All right. You guys put your score predictions in the comments real quick. Let me read some of these comments. I know you guys are used to seeing your comments on the screen. We're having a little technical difficulty with that, so I'm just going to read them real quick. Garnett West, what's going on? He's saying Tennessee. I missed that part of the comment, Garnett. My bad. He said no more giving Ravens a pass. That's what Garnett is saying. King of Pugo says T. Martin steps in. That's what. Okay, yeah. If we get rid of Greg Roman, yes. I mean, look, we did a video a while back. We listed some candidates. That was in the offseason. Some of those guys have jobs now, but we can do another video. That's not a problem. First of all, it's not our job to figure out who to replace a bad coach with. It's the team's job. But if you want our opinion, we can give you our opinion. We can give you some names. That's not a problem. Chris Hall says 19-3. He's got the Bears. Wow.
19-3.
3. Okay, Chris Hall. Okay. All right. Jeez. I see you, man. Man, I know I'm saying your name wrong. I'm sorry. Jahazeb Ali, 32-14. I'm guessing he's going with the Ravens. Tony Hendo says 17-16 Ravens. Living Legend says 24-21 Ravens, so similar to me. All right. Davon says my only prediction is team will win.
He's two sacks away for Justin Houston.
Living Legend. Look, let's. Yes, congratulations to Justin Houston for getting his 100th sack. And congratulations for being 2 sacks closer to getting Living Legend his LBHT gear. All right.
And you'll all call us haters on Justin Houston, but apparently not nearly as big a haters as his kid, because they said he talked to his I don't know if it was son or daughter, but his son about hitting 100 sacks, and his son was not impressed. His son said he needs to get 130. I don't think his son maybe understands how difficult that is, but Justin said he's going to try.
Kimberly Harmon says, I'm happy that the Ravens on the top of the AFC North. They're number 1. Yes, they are. As poorly as they've been playing, the rest of that division's been playing worse. Let's see. Cash Ray says, let's say Giro gets fired. What happens? Okay, so that's what King Pugo was referring to. You can't be afraid of moving on from a bad coach, right? I'm sorry, man. Look, everybody's entitled to their opinion. I know not everybody agrees with us. I just don't believe Giro provides any real value to this team. I don't think.
What happens if you move on from Greg Roman is you hire offensive coordinators until you get a good one.
Yes.
Maybe that's the first hire. Maybe it's the second. Maybe it's the third. But you just keep hiring them until you find a good one.
Yes.
That's all.
But if history shows us, our offensive coordinators and defensive coordinators are very replaceable. Very replaceable. Cam Cameron has not coached in the NFL since we fired him our Super Bowl year.
Correct.
Okay. Mark Trestman has never made it back to the league. All right. Gary Kubiak left us because he stabbed us in the back. We should have kept him. But yeah, Gary Kubiak was good. But Mark Trestman, Marty Morningwig has. I don't think he's coached. I don't think he's been back in the league since he left here.
I think he's an assistant somewhere.
Okay.
I'd have to check. But Jim Caldwell got a head coaching job for a few years. He got fired and has been out of the league. It's not a great track record for Baltimore assistants, honestly.
It's not. We don't do a good job with that. And that's strictly on Harbaugh, which is why we put our attention mainly on Harbaugh, because he always hires his friends. And it's no different than any other coach. Coaches hire who they know. But, man, he's got a bad circle. I'm sorry. His circle isn't that good, man. They're just – I think for a lot of these guys, the game has passed them by. Mm-hmm. Rob Ryan should not be on this coaching staff, dude.
No.
He shouldn't. Joe DeLisandris, I think is the name of the O-line coach.
Listen. It's enough. All right. Look, I know that it's a big pity party, and Baltimore sucks. They got beat down on national TV by one of the worst teams in the league. Yeah, whatever. What's important is this: Cam Newton is back.
Yes.
Now, you might say, Cam's not that great. Cam's washed, whatever. He didn't even start. But you saw the difference in the energy of the team just from having Cam Newton back. Yeah. The O-line played very well for the first time this season. The defense looks like they looked in the first 3 weeks. Christian McCaffrey had been averaging under 4 yards a carry for the season. Against Arizona, he was around 9 at one point. I don't know where he finished, but it was way above 3.5. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
And I know that Kyler Murray and DeAndre Hopkins didn't play, but the Cardinals also have one of the top defenses in the league. But Carolina dropped 34 points on them. And the difference is they have a guy on the offensive side who they believe in. They don't believe in Sam Darnold, And now Cam Newton's back, and they believe that they're going to win that division, but definitely going to go to the playoffs. And it just goes to show how important leadership is. He's always been a great leader, but also just having guys that your players know can play, having talent on the team, going out and getting talented players, it makes a difference in the mindset of your team.
Man. So I talk about this all the time, right? Every job has leadership roles, leadership positions, right? You have supervisors, managers, team leads, whatever. And people are put in those positions, and they might look like they're qualified based off of their experience and knowledge and things like that. But not everybody is a natural leader. So just because on paper it looks like you check all the boxes, you may not be a good communicator. And it's the same thing in the NFL. Now, with quarterback, you typically want your quarterback to be a leader, but not everybody's a natural leader. But then you gotta be really good at your job, right? Yeah. To compensate for that. Cam is rare, right? Because he is a natural leader and he's really good at his job. Now we're gonna find out here soon, if he still has it. I feel strongly that he does. But if you just the energy, or not just in on the team, you can see it, fan base all around, just like that, everything changed. We went from talking about how are they going to win that many more games, where they're going to be in the draft, to man, this team can make a run now. They're definitely going to the playoffs.
Panthers fans had checked out.
Yes.
Panther Nation podcast, we're talking about the march on men to get rid of Matt Rule and everything.
Yeah.
And Panthers fans, by and large, had just checked out on this season. They were done, especially after they went and signed Matt Barkley.
Yes.
But they went and got Cam, and now the entire fan base is rejuvenated. The entire fan base thinks we're going to the playoffs.
Not just that, again, like the game against Arizona, the way they played. They hadn't played with that much energy all year. And I understand, it was just Colt McCoy at quarterback, but the defense was still intact. And this is a team that beat down San Francisco the week before, right? Mm-hmm. And you guys went to Arizona and you handled business. The O-line blocked better.
Yeah.
The running backs were running harder, right? Everybody was pumped up. Now, are they going to be able to continue to do that every week? We'll find out. But I think let's get into it. Let's get into the next game.
I don't think so. I think that it's going to be, that's kind of a 1 week thing, and they're going to have to go out there and play well.
Yeah.
But it just shows you the kind of impact that you can make bringing in that kind of talent to the team.
Yeah.
Now, moving forward, they are playing the Washington football team this week. They're kind of like the polar opposite of what Chicago is when we talked about the defense, where they blitz. They're fifth in the league in their blitz rate, and I think that's going to go up for them as well, because they did just lose Chase Young for the season. Montez Sweat is already on IR, so they don't have their kind of bookend edge rushers. So I think they're going to be looking to blitz a lot to kind of generate pressure. Now, especially when you look at a team who can't block, generally speaking, in Carolina, and a quarterback who hasn't played, right? They haven't officially announced that Cam's going to be the starter, but Cam's going to be the starter,
right?
And even if it's PJ Walker, he's not particularly good NFL quarterback. So I think what you're going to see this week is the Washington football team trying to turn up the pressure on Carolina, and I think Carolina is going to counter that by essentially running as much as they can. I think they're going to run Cam a lot. They're going to run Christian McCaffrey a lot. I think you'll see Chuba Hubbard get in there. I think they're going to try to have Cam finish that game with under 20 pass attempts if possible.
Yeah.
And that's because he just hasn't had the time to get on the same page with the wide receivers. The O-line, we'll see. They played very well last week, but we'll see how they play moving forward. I think they want to try to ease into Cam throwing the ball. Just give them some more practice time to get on the same page with those receivers.
All right. So score prediction.
And listen, it's their first game back at home with Cam. Ron Rivera's coming to town too. Everybody loves Ron in Charlotte. There's no bad blood there, but you always want to beat up on the ex, right? On the former coach when they come to town. You want to show them what's what.
Yeah.
I'm going to say Carolina 31 and Washington 14.
That's going to be my score. 31-14. I'm changing it. 31-13. 31-13. I think it's going to be a beatdown. Washington had a great win last week over Tampa, but they lost Chase Young, and they already were without Montez Sweat. All right.
And Taylor Heineke sucks.
Taylor Heineke sucks. Don't get it.
It is what it is.
Don't let anybody in the media tell you different. That's a bad quarterback. That's a bad quarterback.
And not like not bad meaning good. He's horrible at football.
All right. Couch Rider Raven says Washington 27, Carolina 19. Oh, the
Wow, Couch,
disrespect.
like that. It's like that. In my own chat.
Raven Ron says 16-13 Panthers. Emphasis says 27-10 Panthers.
There you
All
go,
right.
Emphasis. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I like to hear.
Okay.
That's what I like to hear.
Sharon Grills is in the house. What's going on, Sharon? Thanks for coming through. Hey, some of you guys look like you're new in here, man. First of all, welcome. Okay, thanks for coming through in this choppy stream. But if you're new, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Also, turn on your notification bells. We do a show every Wednesday at this time at 7:15 p.m. Eastern Time, and then right after that, we do our overtime show. And if you want to be part of the overtime show, right below me, patreon.com/LBHT Show. Right, that's how you sign up for as little as $3 a month. We have two tiers, $3 tier and $10 tier. Tell them real quick, and then we're gonna get Derek on for our lunch money bet section.
Yes. So for the $3 tier, well, actually, both tiers will get you access to the overtime show that he mentioned that we do after our live show every week. It's a lot of fun. Everybody's in there. We talk about anything and everything. The $3 tier will also get you entrance into our Survivor League, where you make one pick a week. If your team wins, you advance. If they lose, you're out. And the winner gets a trophy at the end of the season. This year it was OTR Mike, unfortunately. So we'll be getting that trophy out to him pretty soon. With the $10 tier, you're going to get an on-screen invite for the overtime show. You can join the stream and talk with us. You get entrance into our yearly fantasy football league. We're going to be converting it into a dynasty league next year, and we give out a custom championship belt at the end of every season. That also gets you the ability to request specific content, articles, videos, anything like that, on any topic that you want. We'll produce that for you. And both of the tiers will get you access to our Discord channel.
All right. All right. I'm going through the chat. They're saying, okay, your volume is B's volume still a little bit low? Is it lower than normal? Some people were saying they could hear you. They just had to turn up their volume a little bit. Don't worry, guys. We'll get it correct for next week for sure. But thanks for bearing with us, man. We still got 50 people watching. Oh man. Okay. Wow. Okay. That's what's up. Like I said, hit that like button if you're new. Subscribe. All right. Now we're about to bring in somebody. Hopefully we can hear him. Our guy Derek with the lunch money bets. All right, for you gambling degenerates out there that need you need your hit. You need your fix. you need to know who to pick this week. Our guy Derek's going to hook you up. Derek? What's up, Derek?
What's going on, fellas?
How we do last week, man?
Man, it was a cold one. Honestly, I feel like I'm over here in Siberia the way it's going for me. I even had to hit up the website for a hoodie. Maybe that'll come and help out and warm things up. But, like I said, if fading me works, be on it. If I'm not mistaken, Degenerate Ryan out there in the chat, he's been fading me pretty strong, and I think that's been putting some money in his pocket. So, do whatever works for you.
All right. All right.
So this week, been looking at things. Y'all were talking about the Carolina-Washington game. It's Carolina -3.5. Home game, basically saying that it's a pick 'em. You got one team facing a lot of injuries on defense. Got that sort of punch to the gut type of instance. And on the other side, you got one team that have, more or less found its spirit and seems to be in the middle of a resurgence. So with that small spread, I'm definitely on the Panthers with Cam coming back and, like y'all said, probably starting. We actually saw the offensive line produce well. If you got anything even remotely close to that, I think Cam's mobility and his ability to take hits and stay on his feet, combined with, at least decent play, that offense can go pretty far. And if the defense stands up the way we've seen it do, that's a deadly combination. So moving on to the Baltimore game, taking on Chicago, who has been just an ugly team this season. Early in the season, I was definitely on some of the team totals unders, and they were even pretty low then, less than 20 points, and they were still cashing. I like Baltimore -4.5 with this. I think the offensive line issues for Baltimore that may come into play with the pass rush for Chicago. But again, where you're talking about a mobile quarterback, and whether it be on the run or just being able to evade some of that pressure, I think they'll be able to put up enough points where Chicago won't be able to stay in this one. Going up next, I seen the Dallas KC game. Dallas is actually not the favorite in this game, and I'm not quite sure how that happened. I'm not sure if they put up the wrong numbers, made the wrong favorite in this one, but I'm glad to jump on Dallas plus 2.5.
They said KC coming back, man.
What happened is Pat Mahomes is back.
Yeah.
But here's the problem. Pat Mahomes ain't never leave, so that ain't much of a reasoning. Like, I ain't going to sit here and say he's a bad player, but, you see things start to happen, and you got to see actual adjustments be made. And if you're talking about luck being a factor, at least in this instance, we've seen what we're going to get out of Dallas most likely in a game like this, regardless who the team is.
Right.
So, as I've said, tendencies, trends, consistency, things you can rely on. Those are the things you like to turn to. And so far this season, KC has not been a team to rely on. And small spread, getting those couple points. Not saying KC won't win the game, maybe something close, 1-2 points. Still cover. I'd gladly take Dallas in this situation. So Mahomes can be back. Let's see what Dak got for him. All right. Okay. And then coming up next, I believe, isn't it the Chargers in Pittsburgh? That's a Sunday night game.
The Sunday night game is oh man, just went out on me. Sunday night, Steelers and Chargers. Yes,
that's one. All right. We got Chargers. They're a 5.5 point favorite in this game. I think they'll cover that. The offense is, it didn't maintain that high power look that we saw in the beginning of the season, but I don't think Pittsburgh's going to have much to offer. I do think the Chargers defense will hold up well enough that that 5.5 points, I think they could easily cover that, win by a touchdown, maybe closer to 10 points. And then with the Monday night game, this one might sound a little strange. I know Ferris will definitely like this one out there if he's in the chat. I'm going to be on the Giants plus the 11.5 against Tampa.
Wow.
If you look this season, the underdog is 7-3 on Monday Night Football.
That's a very interesting stat. That's a very that's a winning record right there, right? And we're also talking about in some instances where the underdog is flat out won the game. So, in the past 3 or 4 weeks, the only Monday night game I lost, I believe, was last week, and I went with the favorite instead of the underdog. And y'all see what San Fran did to LA. So I will be on the Giants plus the 11.5. It's a big spread to begin with, and we're gonna see what happens. All right, we do have a question here. I can't put it on screen, Raven Ron, but I'm gonna read it. He says, "Degenerate Ron is back, baby." He says, "Parlay." He's got the Patriots, who are -7, Colts plus 7.5, KC -2.5, Vikings plus 2. What are your thoughts, Derek?
I'm not sure who all those teams are playing, but clear he's on the other side in that Dallas game, so he might hit there. Like I've said, folks, if Fade Me works, that's where you need to be.
The Colts, I believe, are playing. I just had it.
Colts, Bills.
Bills, yes.
They're at Buffalo.
That could get interesting. That could be one of those situations where you see that game come down to a late field goal.
Yes, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, so that one, taking the Colts in that situation, that could definitely get interesting. Do y'all happen to know who the Vikings are playing?
The Vikings are playing the Green Bay Packers, Minnesota at home.
Yeah, I'd have to go the other way on that one. But if I'm going the other way, man, that says the Vikings might hit. Because, see, I can't come on here and fade myself because then y'all might fade me and that puts the double negative on it. So, man, gets a little interesting when you really start trying to think about it.
Okay. And New England, who's New England playing, B?
New England is playing against, let me see if I can pull it up here.
I thought they were playing Thursday night.
Yeah, they are. They're playing the Falcons tomorrow night.
Okay.
It's hard to say not take New England
take
against
New
the
England.
Falcons.
Take them.
Yeah. I was going to say, I mean, there's not too many teams out there that I probably wouldn't take against the Falcons this season.
And Jahanzeb Ali says Colts can upset. I agree, man. I'm picking the Colts to win the game, actually.
Yeah. That, like I said, that's something I could see. And I don't know the odds off the top of my head, but if it's a 5.5 point spread, you're likely seeing something like the Colts being somewhere around maybe plus 200, maybe a little bit more around 220 on the money line.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you think that upset is something that could happen, you could do something like sprinkle a little bit on the money line and then put a little bit on the spread, or maybe put a little bit more on the spread because the odds are lesser. But if you feel like it's going to come down to maybe that last possession, field goal wins the game, that 5.5 will win. And then, like I said, it's about which side you're on with that field goal. So you still got a chance for that money line play if that happens to be the route you go.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Well, there you have it. Man, appreciate you coming through. If you guys want to see more from Derek, he usually hangs out with us in the Overtime Show. You can be a part of that by hitting up patreon.com/LBHT Show. Also, you could join our Discord through Patreon. He is always in there, and he gives more takes like this on NBA as well. So
yeah. Come join the Patreon Discord so I can save a little face and drop some of these fire NBA.
Let me tell you something, man. He's been hitting on NBA. If you want some NBA, you want some NBA picks, join the Discord. All right, Derek, man, appreciate you. We're gonna see you soon, man.
All right, fellas, everybody take care.
All right,
thank you, Derek.
Yeah. Yeah, look. Hey, shout out to Sterling in the chat, man. I know, man. I know the graphic was covering my face. So I was playing around. I was trying to get rid of the sub graphic, right? Because when we brought Derek on, it was covering up my eyes. It looked like I was like trying to be anonymous or whatever. And like they could see when I shift the screen around, to do it. So I just left it the way it was, man. I told you, man, there's gonna be some growing pains with this, but things will go smoothly the more we do it, the more we learn this. But it's to your benefit, man. We're close to 1,000 subscribers. We want to give you guys a better and better experience. We work on a lot of things behind the scenes. So, man, appreciate you bearing through this with us and, making it fun because I had a lot of fun tonight. But, all right, B, let's do a few minutes of bonus time. Since we started off kind of choppy, I'm going to give them a little time to post their questions in there. And
yeah, and I've got a question for the chat also. Who are y'all taking in the Darren Williams and Frank Gore boxing match that's going to be on the undercard of Jake Paul versus Tommy Fury?
Oh,
I think Darren about to get he gonna get Nate Robinson.
Yeah, I was thinking about it wasn't Darren Williams. I was like, well, Darren Williams has been doing a little boxing. That was Mike Bibby that's been doing boxing, right? I think he's been doing a little bit of boxing already. I was about to say, well, Darren Williams has a little experience. He might have that one up on Frank Gore. Frank Gore he's been playing professional sports all the way up till now. So I think Gore has the advantage here.
Frank Gore is old. He doesn't have any knees left, but he reminds me of the guy Yoel Romero in UFC.
Yeah,
who's like 40-something years old and made of granite.
Yeah,
and you can't. He's not as fast as he used to be. He's limited. But you can't hurt him, and if he hits you, you're gonna die. I think that's what Frank Gore is right now for Darren Williams. Anyway.
So that's gonna be interesting. Yes, and speaking of boxing, Canelo just got approved to move up to cruiserweight. He's gonna fight for the cruiserweight title. I never even heard of that guy who's the champion. I don't know who that is. I'm gonna have to do my research on him. Well, how do you feel about that?
He's being opportunistic, right? Because Usyk was the king and Usyk left to go and get some glory for himself at heavyweight, right? Yeah. So there's a void there. Now Canelo can move up, grab that belt, and say, "I'm the greatest ever," and then he can move back down.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't know the guy, right? Cruiserweight doesn't usually put out great fighters. I mean, Usyk came from cruiserweight. I don't think he started at cruiserweight either, but great fighters don't usually hang around that division.
No, there's not a lot of talent there. I mean, there's some good fighters for sure, but so I don't. The talent kind of it's cruiserweight because you cruise through.
All to say, like, this guy. I mean, yes, he's moving up in weight. This guy, he might be okay. He might be a bum, right? I don't know. I'm gonna do my research on the guy. I just saw it right before we came on air. I'm gonna do my research on the guy, look at some of his tape and see what we're working with, because there is a danger still. He may not be that great, but to move up that heavy, right?
Yeah.
If this guy's a true cruiserweight, there's some danger there for Canelo, right? Mm-hmm. So we'll look at it, man. But the fact that he's moving up so quickly to take on this fight tells me that, like you said, they handpicked this guy, and it'll be one of those things. He gets the belt and then just comes back down, right? A la Roy Jones.
But I still applaud that. Like, it is still a dangerous fight, regardless.
Yes.
I mean, he's been moving up in weight a lot from where he started, and even besides that, he's going out and he's targeting champions. Like, he's not kind of getting the belt and like Roy Jones, just fighting whoever. He's going out and making big time fights. I know people want to see him fight Benavidez. People want to see him fight the Charlos. First off, he would destroy any of them. But he even if he's not making that fight that you want to see, he is going out and fighting good fighters every time out, basically.
Yeah. Emphasis says Darren Williams with the upset. Okay. He still has some spent up anger from everyone saying Chris Paul was a better point guard from that mid-2000s era.
Well, Chris Paul's still playing in 2021, so I think we've settled that one.
Yeah, see, Davon said it was Bibby. I knew one of those basketball players because Mike Bibby, he's a little swole up. I was like, oh, okay, all right.
Yeah, Mike Bibby been hitting the weights.
Okay. Let's see. Ray Varon says only a few teams play defense in the NBA. NBA bets are more predictable. Yeah. Speaking of the NBA, my Nets got beat down last night by the Warriors, right? And me and B don't usually get into NBA talk this early in the season, right? It's just too many games, and like for the top teams, it doesn't really mean a whole lot. But it was an impressive win last night, and people are like, "Yo, are the Warriors for real?" Well, yes, they are for real. And I didn't need to see them do what they're doing right now to believe that. Everybody's healthy. Just for the fact of them being healthy, I knew they're going to be a dangerous team. So what they're doing right now is not a shock at all. But look, I'm confident that the Nets will be there at the end of the year, man. Like I said, it's a very long season. You're not going to see top teams go all out this early in the season. Like, they don't need to, right? It's just about maintaining, winning enough games to get a higher seed, and then just go into the playoffs healthy. That's what they're about. But yes, Golden State is for real.
Absolutely. I'm not paying too much attention to the NBA right now because LeBron has been out, and so the Lakers have been doing what the Lakers are doing. But LeBron's coming back soon, and like you said, once the NFL season starts to wind down and we get around that All-Star break and you start gearing up for the playoffs, I'll be more into it. The games right now don't mean a whole lot. The people who think these games mean a whole lot are like Cleveland and Chicago, because they're trying to stack wins right now so that they have a little cushion to get into the playoffs later when the rest of the teams start really, getting into gear. It's fun to watch still, obviously, but just, I'm not fully engaged on the NBA just yet.
Right. Attitude Pop. Shout out to you, Attitude Pop. He says, is this an overreaction that Lamar might leave the Ravens? I don't think he's going to go anywhere, but he hasn't signed yet either. And, I hope he holds their feet to the fire. I hope there is that threat of him leaving. But there is no real threat because he can get franchise tagged in, and they will if it comes to that.
Franchise quarterbacks, they only leave when the team wants them to leave.
Yeah. I mean, they still had a fifth year with them after this year. So it's not like they need to sign him now. They prefer to because the price is just only going to go up. But they got the fifth year, and like we said, there's a franchise tag, so he's not going anywhere. But, the longer he holds out on this deal, the more money he's going to make.
Yes.
Let's see. Mr. J6 says DeMar DeRozan and Lonzo whooped up on the Lakers. Oh, Russ was Russ, and we couldn't hit the side of a bull elephant. Yeah, man. Lakers are off to a slow start, but again, that's not a team that I'm really worried about, man. They're an older team. We all know that, but they're built for the playoffs. Just make it to the playoffs intact, healthy, and you're gonna see a different Lakers team. Like, don't worry. How many games are they in? Like, what, 20 games in?
Yeah, around that.
Too early, man. It's just too early to really the bad teams have to worry about right now, because this is a time where you can steal wins, right? Yeah. Before other teams wake up. This is where you want to go on these hot streaks and win enough games early and hope that momentum carries in the second half to get you into the playoffs. But once these teams start waking up, you'll start seeing the top.
Not even 20 games. The Lakers are 8-7. Listen, you want to know how much the league has woken up at this point? Washington is number 1 at 10-3. Nobody thinks they're going to be number 1 at the end of the season.
No. How much fifth year will cost the Ravens? How much will the fifth year for Lamar cost the Ravens? Not that much. Rookie contracts.
Well, no, it's different now. They just changed the fifth year option, so it's essentially going to be like franchising him.
Okay.
Because previously the fifth year options were pretty low, especially when you look at quarterbacks. So they adjusted that for everyone. It's going to be like franchising him. I don't think it'll come to that. I think they'll get a deal done.
Yeah. Chris Hall over here talking nonsense. Says LeBron James has finished winning, especially with Russell Westbrook as your point. Be the GM, LeBron, and I read it wrong. My bad. I thought you were saying trade LeBron for Lonzo. I was like, oh, you're talking craziness. He's saying LeBron be the GM and trade Russell Westbrook for Lonzo.
Listen, I told you when it happened, I was not really happy with the Russell Westbrook signing. I told you why.
It's going to work.
It is going to work because LeBron and Anthony Davis are there, and they did a good job filling out the rest of the roster. But Russell Westbrook was never the right choice for LA.
Yeah,
never. Yeah. He can't shoot, and he likes to shoot. Like that's not a good combination. Shooting is his favorite thing, and he's bad at it.
Yeah. All right, y'all. We're going to end it here, man. Look, sorry we couldn't get to more comments, man, but we appreciate you guys hanging out with us. We appreciate the support. We appreciate the donations, man. We are going to fire up this overtime show. The audio should be clear all around, and we'll discuss it more because give us your feedback. Leave comments. Send us emails. We don't really put our email out there that much, but if you want, send us emails, lbhtshow@gmail.com, right? Give us feedback, what you want to see and everything. As we approach 1,000 subscribers, man, we want to give you just a great experience. That's our goal. So, I mean, we might be a little ambitious on things. That's fine, right? But we want your feedback on that as we move forward. But patrons, give us a couple minutes to set up, and we'll see you guys shortly. Everybody else, you have a great night. And we will see you on Sunday. Oh, next Wednesday, there would not be a live show. That is Thanksgiving Eve, but we are going to have something for you. Okay. So don't fret. You won't see us live, but we will have something. We'll have something prepared for you guys. So, we won't see you live next Wednesday, but we'll see you live on Sunday. All right. Y'all have a good night. See you next time. Peace out.